All over. Meri Brown appears in court as Kody sues her for $1.9 million and loses Janelle. Hello friends, I am Elena, welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Sister Wives universe has been shaken once again by a series of dramatic events involving Meri Brown, Kody Brown, and Janelle Brown. Fans have been following the Brown family's ups and downs for over a decade, but the latest developments have taken tensions to an entirely new level. According to insider reports and circulating legal documents, Kody Brown has filed a lawsuit against Meri Brown for a staggering $1.9 million, alleging financial wrongdoing related to shared business ventures. At the same time, Janelle Brown has made the decisive move to walk away from Kody for good, marking yet another fracture in the already fragile family structure. Meri Brown, known as Kody's first wife and a long-standing figure in the plural marriage household, was spotted arriving at court to address the claims head-on. Sources close to her say she was determined to defend her name, adamant that she had done nothing wrong and that Kody's accusations were both hurtful and baseless. The $1.9 million figure has raised eyebrows, with many wondering how such a large sum could even be in dispute between former partners. Some insiders have suggested the amount may be tied to business profits from joint ventures, possibly connected to family-affiliated projects and investments, while others speculate it may involve disputes over property and assets acquired during their long marriage. Kody, for his part, has reportedly been unwavering in his stance. He believes that certain funds were mishandled and is seeking not only repayment but also damages for what he claims was a breach of trust. This legal approach is unusual for a family that has spent years promoting unity, even through hardship. Fans have been vocal about their disbelief, with many expressing sadness that matters have escalated from marital difficulties to a full-fledged courtroom battle. The situation has only been compounded by Janelle Brown's decision to leave Kody entirely. Janelle's relationship with Kody has been under strain for years, and viewers of Sister Wives have seen glimpses of tension and distance between them. However, this latest development confirms that her patience has run out. Sources close to Janelle say she had been contemplating her future for some time, weighing whether staying in the family dynamic was worth the ongoing conflict. The lawsuit between Kody and Meri reportedly solidified her choice to walk away, believing that the family's troubles had reached an irreversible point. For fans who have followed the Browns from their early days, the unraveling of these relationships feels almost surreal. The start of their public journey, Kody, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin presented a vision of a plural marriage built on cooperation, mutual respect, and shared values. Over the years, however, cracks began to appear. Christine's departure from the marriage in 2021 signaled the beginning of a wave of separations, and now, with Janelle gone and Meri facing legal conflict with Kody, it seems the foundation of the family has all but collapsed. Meri's court appearance has been described as poised yet determined. Observers noted that she carried herself with confidence, refusing to let the weight of the accusations bring her down. While she has yet to make a public statement addressing the details of the case, her demeanor suggested she is prepared to fight back vigorously. Those close to her insist that the lawsuit is not only unfounded but also a strategic move by Kody, perhaps driven by lingering resentments and the desire to gain control over certain assets. The financial aspect of the dispute is particularly intriguing to fans and commentators alike. A $1.9 million lawsuit implies a significant pool of wealth, something that has often been speculated about but rarely confirmed in the Sister Wives world. While the Browns have multiple revenue streams, including TLC contracts, book sales, public appearances, and independent ventures like Meri's Bed and Breakfast, the exact distribution of earnings among family members has always been somewhat opaque. This lack of transparency may have contributed to the brewing tensions that have now boiled over into the public eye. Meanwhile, Janelle's is seen as a pivotal moment in the Brown family saga. Her decision leaves Kody with only one remaining wife, Robin, who has long been perceived as his closest partner. Critics of the family dynamics have often argued that Robin's presence created imbalance, fostering feelings of neglect among the other wives. With Christine and Janelle now firmly out of the picture, and Meri embroiled in legal conflict with Kody, many believe the show's premise has effectively crumbled. In the court of public opinion, reactions have been mixed. Some fans sympathize with Kody, arguing that if financial misconduct did occur, he has every right to seek justice. Others side firmly with Meri, seeing her as the victim of a vendetta fueled by personal grievances rather than facts. Janelle, for her part, has received widespread support for choosing her independence over continued turmoil. Legal experts commenting on the situation note that cases like this can be long, expensive, and emotionally draining. They point out that if the dispute centers on jointly owned businesses or properties, unraveling the finances will be a complex process. Given the family's high-profile nature, there's also the question of how much of the proceedings will be accessible to the public. Some believe that both sides might eventually opt for a private settlement to avoid further media scrutiny, though at this stage neither Meri nor Kody has indicated such an intention. Adding to the complexity is the emotional history between the two. Meri and Kody's relationship has been through significant turbulence, from catfishing scandals to public separations. While their marriage has been spiritually but not legally binding for years, the financial ties have clearly remained. This intertwining of personal and business relationships can make disputes even more volatile, as emotions run alongside legal arguments. For TLC and the future of Sister Wives, these events raise serious questions. The network has thrived on showcasing the family's unique structure and the challenges they navigate together. However, with key members leaving and public disputes turning bitter, the central narrative may be shifting beyond repair. Some industry insiders speculate that TLC might pivot the show to focus more on individual journeys rather than the plural marriage as a whole, while others believe this could mark the beginning of the end for the series. Despite the uncertainty, one thing is clear: the Brown story continues to capture attention. Whether viewers tune in out of loyalty, curiosity, or disbelief, the unfolding drama has cemented the family's place in reality TV history. Meri's fight in court, Kody's aggressive legal stance, and Janelle's decisive departure are all threads in a larger tapestry of change, one that could redefine the Brown family for years to come. As the legal battle moves forward, both sides are expected to present evidence and testimony that will shed light on the origins of the $1.9 million claim. Meri's supporters are hopeful that her name will be cleared, while Kody's camp appears confident in the strength of their case. In the meantime, Janelle is reportedly focusing on her own life, embracing newfound freedom and opportunities outside the shadow of family conflict. In the end, this chapter of the Brown family's journey underscores just how far they have drifted from the image they once projected. From a united front navigating the of plural marriage to a fractured group dealing with lawsuits and separations, the transformation is stark. Fans can only watch and wait to see how the court rules, how relationships evolve, and whether any reconciliation, legal or personal, is still possible. For over a decade, Sister Wives has given viewers a deep look into the unique, complex, and often challenging dynamics of Kody Brown's plural marriage. We've seen the highs, the lows, the celebrations, and the heartbreaks. But now, with the way recent events have unfolded, many viewers are wondering, is this the end of the road for the Brown family on reality TV? The biggest factor fueling speculation is the breakdown of the family structure itself. When the show began in 2010, the central hook was the rare opportunity to watch one man navigate life with 4 wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, and their combined 18 children. The polygamous lifestyle, combined with their unique challenges, kept viewers intrigued. But now, that original dynamic is gone. Christine was the first to leave in 2021, publicly ending her marriage to Kody and starting a new life in Utah. Not long after, Janelle separated from Kody, and Meri eventually confirmed her split as well. That leaves Kody with only one wife, Robin, and a fractured relationship with several of his children. Another reason fans suspect the show might end is the repetitive nature of recent seasons. For years, episodes have revolved around the same themes: tension between the wives, financial struggles, moving plans, and family members feeling isolated. While these were compelling in the early seasons, the last few years have often rehashed the same disputes, especially around Kody's perceived favoritism toward Robin and his strict COVID-19 rules that alienated much of the family. Viewers on social media have been vocal about feeling like they're watching the same season over and over. Without fresh plot lines or new developments in the family's relationships, the creative direction of the show seems limited. Several of the Brown family members have spoken openly about how hard it has been to live their lives on camera, especially while going through personal heartbreak. Christine, in particular, shared that her decision to leave Kody was made even harder by the pressure of being in the public eye. In addition, some of the adult children, like Gwendolyn, Paydon, and Michael T., have taken to social media to reveal behind-the-scenes frustrations. This openness has given fans a raw look into how emotionally draining filming can be, making them wonder if the remaining cast members even want to continue. Although Sister Wives still has a loyal fan base, ratings in certain recent seasons have fluctuated. Major breakups, like Christine's departure, temporarily boosted viewership, but between these big events, numbers have been less consistent. TV networks often make decisions based on whether a show can continue to attract a strong audience. The family drama is starting to feel predictable and ratings drop after season 20, TLC could decide it's time to wrap things up while the show still has some momentum. When Sister Wives premiered, one of its stated goals was to educate viewers about plural marriage and challenge stereotypes. Over the years, it sparked conversations about love, commitment, and the struggles of unconventional families. However, the Browns are no longer living the lifestyle the show set out to portray. With only one wife remaining, the premise of showing a functioning polygamous family is essentially over. Some fans feel the show has already told its story and that continuing could dilute its original message. Another clear sign is that several members of the Brown family are already building new lives outside of the show. Christine is happily remarried and living away from Flagstaff, sharing glimpses of her life on her own social media accounts. Janelle is focused on her health and business ventures. Even Meri has been traveling more and working on her own brand. These personal projects suggest that they may be ready to step out of the reality TV spotlight entirely. And for those who have already separated from Kody, filming together may not make sense anymore. Looking at TLC's history, it's not uncommon for the network to end a long-running series after a major cast or format shift. Once a show loses the dynamic that made it popular, the network often chooses to either cancel it or repackage it into. Some fans believe Sister Wives could follow this pattern, possibly ending as a main series after season 20 and transitioning into smaller spin-offs focusing on individual family members, like Christine and David's married life or Janelle's health journey. Perhaps the most telling sign is how fans themselves are reacting online. While many still love the show, more and more viewers are saying they'd prefer it to end on a strong note rather than dragging on until it feels stale. On forums and social media, phrases like "it's time" or "let them live in peace" have become common. Some longtime followers say they'll always be grateful for what the show offered but don't see a reason for it to continue without the core family unity. At this point, there's no official confirmation from TLC or the Brown family about the future of Sister Wives. However, the combination of fractured relationships, repetitive storytelling, emotional strain, and shifting fan interest is hard to ignore. If season 20 does mark the end, it would close out more than a decade of one of TLC's most talked-about series. It would also leave behind a legacy of sparking conversations about love, marriage, family, and personal freedom, topics that go far beyond reality TV. Whether or not season 20 is the last, Sister Wives has undeniably made its mark on reality television. It has taken viewers through emotional highs and devastating lows, showing that family life, whether plural or not, is messy, complicated, and deeply human. The Sister Wives universe has been no stranger to controversy, heartbreak, and public scrutiny. But the recent development involving Meri Brown and Kody Brown has struck a nerve unlike anything before. After decades of shared history, both on-screen and off, Meri has taken the shocking step of suing her husband for property rights. For fans who have followed their journey from the early days of TLC's reality series to the present, this moment feels like both an inevitable outcome and an unthinkable tragedy. The lawsuit is not just about land or real estate, it's about the dismantling of trust, the unraveling of a family dynamic, and the painful reality of what happens when love, religion, and personal ambitions collide. Meri and Kody's relationship has always been. As the first wife in the Brown family's plural marriage, Meri once held a unique place in Kody's life. They began their journey together in the early 1990s, building a life rooted in shared beliefs and the dream of a large, united family. For years, viewers saw her as a quiet yet strong figure, supporting her husband and the expanding family even as challenges grew. However, as the seasons unfolded, the cracks in their relationship became increasingly visible. The emotional distance between them widened, and Meri's struggles, both personal and marital, played out in front of the emotional separations captured on camera. The pair's bond slowly disintegrated. Despite public reassurances that they were working through things, the undercurrent of strain was impossible to ignore. The dispute now centers on property, a tangible symbol of security, stability, and identity. Reports suggest that the legal battle involves not just a home, but also valuable parcels of land that hold both sentimental and financial significance. For Meri, the fight appears to be about more than material assets. It's about reclaiming what she believes is rightfully hers after years of contributions, sacrifices, and shared labor. The emotional weight of this legal conflict cannot be understated. Property disputes between spouses are notoriously bitter, but when intertwined with decades of shared faith, a televised marriage, and the collapse of a family brand, the stakes rise exponentially. Meri's decision to file suit has sent shockwaves through both the Brown family and the fan community. Many are grappling with the reality that this once seemingly unshakable unit has reached a point of no return. Kody Brown, known for his charismatic and often headstrong personality, is said to be deeply angered by the lawsuit. Sources close to the family claim that he views the action as a betrayal, not just of him personally but of the larger family mission they once championed. For years, Kody emphasized unity and collective ownership, but critics point out that his actions in recent years have often favored certain wives over others, fueling resentment and division. Meri, on the other hand, appears resolute. While she has not made a lengthy public statement, her recent social media posts carry undertones of independence, resilience, and a determination to stand her ground. Fans have noted a shift in her tone, less about reconciliation and more about self-preservation. It's as if she has accepted that the chapter with Kody is over and is now focused on ensuring she walks away with what she feels she has earned. For the Brown children, this development is especially painful. The once interwoven family now finds itself fractured by legal documents and court dates. While it is unclear how involved the adult children are in the dispute, the emotional toll on them cannot be overlooked. They have grown up watching their parents navigate the unique challenges of plural marriage, only to see that foundation collapse in such a public, bitter fashion. The public nature of the lawsuit adds another layer of tragedy. Reality TV fame has given the Browns financial opportunities, but it has also meant that their personal struggles are constantly under the microscope. In this case, every filing, every hearing, and every cryptic Instagram caption becomes fodder for speculation. Court battle is not just a private fight, it is a spectacle dissected by fans, critics, and tabloids alike. Financial experts point out that property disputes in divorces or separations can drag on for months, if not years, depending on the complexity of ownership and the willingness of both parties to negotiate. If Meri and Kody cannot reach a settlement outside of court, the process could become drawn out, expensive, and emotionally exhausting. Considering the Browns' public persona, each phase of the case will likely make headlines, prolonging the pain for all involved. The emotional core of this conflict lies in the symbolism of property itself. For many people, a home represents love, security, and the fruits of shared labor. For Meri, losing this property could feel like erasing decades of her life, a lifetime of memories, work, and personal investment. For Kody, relinquishing it could feel like a defeat, both financially and symbolically. This is why property battles are often the most contentious aspect of marital breakdowns. They are never just about the land or the walls, but about the meaning attached to them. In the eyes of many longtime Sister Wives viewers, this lawsuit marks the true end of the Brown family as it was once known. While Christine's earlier departure signaled a fracture, and Janelle's distancing hinted at deeper unrest, Meri's lawsuit transforms those hints into an undeniable reality. The dream of a united plural family is over. What remains are fragments, individuals now pursuing their own paths, sometimes in direct opposition to one another. Tragedy here is layered. There is the loss of trust between Meri and Kody, the breakdown of a marriage that once seemed unshakable, the public unraveling of a family identity built over decades, and the personal grief of watching a shared life turn into a legal dispute. It is a reminder that even in families built on ideals of unity, the realities of human emotion, ambition, and pain can lead to irreversible divides. For Meri, the road ahead is uncertain. Winning the lawsuit might grant her financial and emotional closure, but it will not erase the years of struggle that led to this point. For Kody, the outcome will likely redefine his personal and financial future, as well as his public image. No matter the legal verdict, the emotional verdict is already in. This is a heartbreak that will linger far beyond the. Fans may never fully know the private conversations, the moments of regret, or the late-night thoughts that led to this legal standoff. What is clear is that Meri's decision to sue marks a turning point, not just for her but for the entire Brown family legacy. The tragedy is not just in what is being fought over, but in what has already been lost. The shared dreams, the trust, and the unity that once defined them. In the end, this is more than a property dispute. It is the closing of a chapter that millions have followed for over a decade, a chapter now marked by legal papers instead of family dinners, courtrooms instead of living rooms, and silence where once there was the laughter of a sprawling if complicated household. The day that many sister wives fans feared, and some quietly anticipated, finally arrived. After years of simmering tensions, emotional battles, and public revelations, the Brown family's unity shattered completely in the most public way possible, a heated courtroom confrontation that left no hope for reconciliation. What began as a tense legal matter quickly spiraled into a full-blown spectacle, marked by Kody Brown's emotional collapse and a shocking verbal clash between Meri and Robyn that made it clear the Brown family will never be the same again. For years, viewers have watched the once close plural family navigate the complexities of love, jealousy, and trust. While the cracks in the foundation have been visible for over a decade, nothing prepared fans for the raw emotion and volatility displayed in court. Case itself, reportedly tied to disputed property, financial disagreements, and allegations of broken agreements, was supposed to be a formal legal process. But as the Browns entered the courtroom, it became obvious that their personal grievances would not be contained by the judge's gavel. Kody Brown, the patriarch who once prided himself on keeping his family united under one spiritual vision, entered the courtroom looking visibly tense. His once confident demeanor was replaced with a drawn, almost defeated expression. His trademark long hair, now streaked with more gray than fans had ever seen, was tied back loosely. He avoided eye contact with both Meri and Robyn, a telling sign of the storm brewing beneath the surface. Those in attendance described his movements as restless, tapping his foot, fidgeting with papers, and whispering to his attorney with an urgency that betrayed his anxiety. The proceedings began with the expected formalities, but it didn't take long for personal grievances to seep into the testimony. Meri, the first wife, took the stand with a calm but firm tone. For years, she had been painted in varying lights, at times loyal and patient, at others distant and independent. On this day, she was unwavering in her resolve. She spoke directly about what she claimed were broken promises related to their shared property and the financial security she believed she was owed after decades of commitment to the family. Robyn, the youngest wife and long considered Kody's favorite by many viewers, sat just a few feet away, her arms crossed tightly. As Meri detailed her frustrations, Robyn's face shifted from a forced neutrality to visible agitation. Tension between the two women was palpable, their history of unspoken resentments finally spilling over in real time. What truly ignited the conflict was Meri's pointed remark about selective loyalty in the family, a thinly veiled accusation that Robyn had been given preferential treatment while other wives were left to fend for themselves emotionally and financially. The moment the words left Meri's mouth, Robyn leaned forward and, in a voice loud enough for the judge to intervene, fired back. She accused Meri of rewriting history and placing blame on her for decisions that were Kody's alone. The judge called for order, but the damage was done. Gasps from spectators filled the room, and whispers rippled through those seated in the gallery. For years, fans speculated about private arguments between Meri and Robyn, but this was the first time the hostility was on such raw display, without the filters of reality television editing. Kody, who had been trying to maintain his composure, seemed to crumble under the weight of the moment. As the back and forth between Meri and Robyn escalated, his posture collapsed. Witnesses say his voice cracked as he attempted to speak, his words jumbled and nearly incoherent. He buried his face in his hands, shaking his head, and at one point appeared to wipe away tears. It was a stunning reversal for a man who, for over a decade on television, projected himself as a strong, if sometimes stubborn, leader. Now in the courtroom, Kody looked like someone who had lost all control, not just of the legal proceedings but of his entire family. The attorneys, clearly aware that the emotional chaos was undermining their cases, tried to steer the focus back to the matter at hand. But every attempt to contain the tension failed. Robyn accused Meri of turning her back on the family long before the public realized it. Meri countered that Robyn had manipulated situations to maintain her favored position, effectively isolating the other wives. As the shouting subsided, the silence in the courtroom was deafening. Even the judge, who had been firm in his attempts to keep order, seemed momentarily taken aback by the rawness of the exchange. It wasn't just a legal dispute anymore, it was the implosion of a family broadcast for all to witness. By the end of the session, there was no mistaking the outcome. The legal issues would continue, but the emotional ties that once bound the Browns were gone. Meri walked out without so much as glancing in Robyn's direction. Robyn, her face streaked with tears, left with her attorney, her usual poise shattered. Kody remained in the courtroom for several minutes after adjournment, hunched over at the table, as though gathering the strength to face the reality outside those doors. For Sister Wives fans, the day marked a definitive end. While the show has weathered many storms, divorces, separations, and public criticism, this courtroom battle felt final. The Browns were no longer a complicated but connected plural family. They were now fractured individuals, each moving forward without the other. In the days following the hearing, speculation ran rampant. Would this be the final chapter for the series? Could any of the relationships be repaired privately? The general consensus was grim. The trust had been broken too publicly, the words exchanged too sharp to forget. What remains now is a legacy of both love and heartbreak, forever etched in the memories of fans who followed their journey from hopeful beginnings to bitter collapse. Kody's courtroom breakdown and the explosive clash between Meri and Robyn were more than just reality TV drama. They were the culmination of years of unresolved pain, brought into the harsh light of legal proceedings. Sources close to production reveal that the clash began during a high-intensity endurance drill in which participants were paired up for an uphill trek while carrying heavy military packs. Kody was reportedly partnered with the Real Housewives of New Jersey star, a personality equally known for quick comebacks and fiery confrontations. From the start, their teamwork faltered. While the challenge required cooperation and a steady pace, the two allegedly disagreed about strategy within minutes. Witnesses say Kody wanted to maintain a slower, steady pace to conserve energy for later obstacles, while his partner insisted on a more aggressive push. The back and forth escalated quickly, with both refusing to yield to the other's plan. What might have been a minor disagreement between two strong-willed individuals turned into a verbal sparring match that left their fellow contestants stunned. One onlooker described the tension. "You could feel it from across the training yard." They were talking over each other, ignoring the DS directing staff orders, and basically turning the exercise into a power struggle. It wasn't about winning the challenge anymore, it was about who was going to win the argument. Kody's frustration reportedly boiled over when the Real Housewives of New Jersey star made a pointed remark about his leadership style, referencing his public reputation from Sister Wives. The comment struck a nerve, with Kody snapping back that he didn't come to Special Forces to rehash family drama, and that his personal life was none of their business. The exchange got so heated that the DS staff had to step in and remind both participants that the course required discipline and cooperation, not ego battles. Insiders claim that the Real Housewives of New Jersey cast member later told others in the camp that Kody was impossible to work with, and that his stubbornness was making the group challenges harder than they needed to be. In response, Kody reportedly told a fellow contestant, I can't deal with people who think yelling is leadership." That phrase, "I can't even," has now become something of a buzzword among the production crew, who have used it jokingly to sum up Kody's visible exasperation during the competition. While Special Forces thrives on tough challenges and emotional rawness, producers are said to be watching this rivalry closely. On one hand, conflicts make for compelling television. On the other, the competition demands teamwork for safety reasons, and the staff won't hesitate to remove contestants who can't cooperate. This isn't the first time Kody's personality has clashed with others on camera. Over his many seasons on Sister Wives, viewers saw repeated disputes between him and his wives, children, and even extended family. His approach, often characterized as assertive to the point of domineering, has drawn both criticism and admiration from fans. Some viewers believe that his determination is a sign of strong leadership. Others see it as a refusal to compromise. However, unlike in Sister Wives, where he was